Good evening and welcome to Have I Got News for You? I'm Jeremy Clarkson, and in the news this week, at Windsor, the man responsible for the storage of Charles and Camilla's wedding presents admits he may have been a little over-optimistic. At a London primary school, turkey Twizzlers are back on the menu after Jamie Oliver mysteriously goes missing. And amidst claims that the government received written advice that the Iraq war was illegal, Tony Blair denies that any such letter ever existed. On Ian Hislop's team is a writer and academic who, in the 1960s, declared that all Englishmen were either kinky or queer, depending on whether or not she got to sleep with him, presumably. Please welcome Germaine Greer. And with Paul Merton tonight is a man who once devised a TV game show starring monkeys, which was axed by ITV because it was too cruel and rejected by the BBC because it was too highbrow. Please welcome Danny Baker. Thank you. OK, we start with round one. Paul and Danny, here we go again.
It's the launch in the Labour manifesto.
Or 15 to 1.
15 to 1, yeah. That's...
Whoa, that's what they go.
And that's the bastard there who tripped me up. Yeah, so that's what it's about. But I can't go any further without congratulating Ian. I know that's not been officially announced till tomorrow, but Ian is going to be the new Doctor Who.
Oh, come on, wow.
It's a southern Doctor Who now.
Yeah. I didn't see the famous party political when they, you know, with Gordon Brown and Tony Blair being...
No, I didn't see it either.
No, only the fall.
I did. I was the only person in the whole country who watched.
Well, was it really, you know, the nude wrestling scene from Women in Love? Was it all of that?
Yeah, without the nude and the wrestling, but...
But really was...
No, it's incredibly moving. It's a love story, you know. Anthony Minghella, who's done The English Patient, it's beautiful. Camera work, soft focus, Gordon, Tony, Gordon, Tony.
But Ian's a time traveller. He can take us back there. Can't you?
I see.
Would you like to see it?
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
I think the two crucial, the two ideas you come back to the whole time are the future and the many, not the few. In other words, the basic value is always the same. How do we create a society where everybody, not just a few, get the chance to succeed? That's the basic motivation. That's why we're in the Labour Party, not the Tory Party.
Would you like to meet other gay men in your area? 0898.
The great thing about the video is there's no continuity. In one of them, he's wearing a tie, and then it cuts, and he's got an oak-neck shirt, and then they cut back. They obviously couldn't get the two of them to be happy in the room together for more than a second at a time. And people always say this is a display of friendship when Blair's saying, "You're marvellous, Gordon," and Gordon says, "Yeah, I am." That's it. It's not reciprocated.
Yes, I am.
But it's their thing. Forward, not backward. That's the slogan.
Forward, not back.
Forward, not back.
Yeah.
Not
Up,
backward.
not down.
It's all right to
Happy,
be
not
backward.
sad.
Same as the bubble car used to have written on its gearbox.
Double car had no backwards gear.
Exactly.
Because if you drove it into your garage at night and a forward opening door and the garage wall was there, you were stuffed forever because you couldn't open the door and you couldn't reverse out again.
Who had 2 minutes before Jeremy starts talking about cars? Who had it?
To show how things have moved on,
Yes.
party political broadcast-wise, we've actually got one from 1951. Labour Party political broadcast, worth having a look at.
Maybe you've got some wrong ideas about us, and Sir Hartley Shawcross and I want to try to remove some of them. To begin with, for instance, you may be wondering how it happens that someone so well-dressed, well-educated and well-off as Sir Hartley Shawcross, how he comes to be in the Labour Party. What's your answer to that?
My answer, Chris, is why on earth shouldn't I be?
That's the style.
Oh, I love that.
That interviewer was Christopher Mayhew, who later on took hallucinogenic drugs as an experiment on
Is that
BBC.
the same fella?
Same bloke, yes.
Oh, really?
Halfway through his trip, he was asked, what are you experiencing now? And he sort of said, it all depends what you mean by now. that was him.
It's great footage. Shows how much things have changed. Nowadays, the idea the Labour Party would be run by a well-dressed public schoolboy.
Anyone see Andrew Neil's politics show this week?
No, mister, was it good?
No, I think it's set the tone for the forthcoming election. Watch this.
Who's that meant to be?
They're trying to engage an apathetic electorate.
The fourth most powerful country in the world, and that's how they're covering the election. It's just unbelievable.
Well, I suppose we're only lucky it's not Dick and Dom's election coverage. Or perhaps that's being scheduled and I'm...
Yeah. Now, you know John Prescott's been on the road already, hasn't punched anyone.
Not yet.
He did make a speech in Essex, which the Times has been very kind to print verbatim. I've got it here. Look, I've got my old pledge card a bit battered and crumpled. We said we'd provide more churches, teachers, and we have. I can remember when people used to say the Japanese are better than us, the Germans are better than us, the French are better than us. Well, it's great to be able to say we're better than them, I think, Mr Kennedy. Well, we all congratulate him on his baby, and the Tories, and you remember him well. I'm remembering Borman, that's negative equity. Remember Mr Howard, I mean, you are thinking what I'm thinking. I remember it's all a bit wonky, isn't it? All about. What's that mean? Ian and Germaine, the opposition for you.
Well, that's the man with something of the night about him.
There he is, being reasonable. That's his shadow. Unfortunate word, since he doesn't have one, as we all know.
And this is Charles Kennedy explaining to his baby that the baby Bond will get knocked out if he gets into politics.
It's the Tories have launched their election, and with the slogan, "Are you thinking what we're thinking?" which, interestingly, was the slogan used by the Bananas in Pyjamas.
Coming down the stairs?
Coming down the stairs, they opened up. Are you thinking what we're thinking? It's time for Bananas in Pyjamas.
That's true, that.
Are they standing in the election, Bananas in Pyjamas?
They're standing for a lot of marginal Tory seats. It's a terrific slogan.
Yeah.
It is.
It's also the slogan of Jean-Marie Le Pen's party in the last French election. I just throw that in for balance, obviously.
Have you seen the variation on the Conservative Party theme?
No.
It's the North Norfolk, I think he is, Tory candidate's website. We've got this here, look. I bloody love you, you're my best mate. Are you drinking what we're drinking?
Well, I mean, this is both of their tactics, really, isn't it? I mean, the Conservative Party thinks if you just put a picture of Blair up, everyone will think, no, I won't vote Labour. Which is not bad thinking, really. Apparently, early on, they had this slogan, vote Blair, get Brown. And then they dropped it, because all the punters were thinking, yeah, that'd be good, too.
OK, here's one. It's specifically with you in mind, even though it's your question.
Yep.
Tories, sorry, Conservatives, as we now have to call them, they've made a cinema advertisement which shows Tony Blair making all sorts of promises which they allege he has broken. So what music is that set to?
Take that look off your face.
Oh, you're right. I wasn't expecting it to come from you. You didn't.
It's Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Suggestions for a good song for Michael Howard.
Do you sleep in a coffin filled with the earth from your own country? Mr. Howard. That was a hit, wasn't it? That was a hit. That was Depeche Mode, yeah, Girls on Film.
That's it.
Howard in Box, it's a follow-up.
Or in this case, not on film, of course.
Yeah.
Who shockingly revealed their intention to vote Lib Dem?
Or was it Gordon Brown?
Brown. He's edited out of that thing, yes.
Billy Bragg.
Not Billy Bragg.
Yeah. He's in Oliver Letwin's constituency, and he thinks there's a chance of getting rid of him. And if you see this photograph we've got, you can see what he's on about. Look at that.
Wow!
It's a worry.
Make a worthy villain for you in your next series, wouldn't you?
The master.
In the interest of fairness, obviously, we've got to cover some other parties, which brings us neatly on to Robert Kilroy Silk.
Hooray!
He's been on the campaign trail a couple of days ago, and he encountered someone, not an asylum seeker, someone who was living here but had come from abroad, and who just told him that he was going to go back to wherever he'd come from again, and this is what happened.
Are you going back?
Yeah, on next July.
Why next July?
Yeah, next July.
Why not tomorrow?
Hope that helps you make your mind up there.
There's never a bucket of shit needed when you want one, is there?
This is the thrilling battle for second place. Launching his party's campaign slogan, Michael Howard said, "I could easily decide to hang up my boots, enjoy my retirement, and spend more time with my grandchildren." Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Charles Kennedy broke off campaigning for a couple of days to attend to his duties as the father of his baby Donald. Apparently, he's waking up twice a night for a bottle. You can guess the rest of that one. Right, Paul and Danny, your big day.
Oh, hooray.
Yes, this is the Pope's funeral. There we are. There he is. He's looking well, isn't he?
Did you see that Camilla, they all said afterwards, she hasn't learned how to wave, and normally such, you know, triteness wouldn't bother you, but she does actually wave like Andy Pandy used.
Does she?
Yes, look, it's a very stiff arm up and then down again, exactly like Andy Pandy. Chaz and Millie?
That's left over from another wedding somewhere.
Are there 4 people in this marriage?
But I mean, you mentioned that thing about sort of not being able to wave, but you know, you watch all this coverage at the time. I watched a little bit of it, and they come up with the most enormous guff, don't they? These commentators saying, you know, she's very natural with people. She's spontaneous. She'll walk up to somebody and smile and shake their hand. God, if only the rest of us could manage to do something like that.
Why was the wedding shifted from whenever it was shifted from to the other day?
The Pope died, so TV crews were scrambled all over the globe. It's absolutely true. On the BBC, it had Vatican confirms Pope died 8:37. You went to ITV, Pope dies 8:37, Vatican confirms. You went to CNN, same thing, same thing. Sky had same thing. Fox News had Fox News confirms Pope's death. Fox News confirms it. like the bishop came out and said the Pope has passed on, and one of their reporters said, yeah, I'd like to come in and look around myself. If you don't mind. Actually had Fox News confirmed...
Punch him in the stomach, see if he winces.
So anyway, listen, Charles went over to the Pope's funeral, which is why he couldn't do the other thing. Of course, that gave Robert Mugabe another opportunity for one of his "you've been framed" moments.
He comes up with them, doesn't he?
He is particularly brilliant at it, though.
Yeah.
It wasn't just an ordinary surprise, this one. He did it during the peace.
He did.
When everyone has to say peace be with you, and it's the middle of the Pope's funeral. That overcomes Mugabe and says peace be with you. What can you do?
But that's what you do at the peace. Believe me, it could have been worse. In the old days, what you gave was the kiss of peace. Imagine Prince Charles kissing Mugabe.
Imagine Prince Charles kissing Camilla. It's not happening.
Hang on a second, I'm still trying to imagine him kissing Mugabe, hang on.
I don't think Mugabe would have liked that very much.
But Mugabe
You get strung up for that in Zimbabwe.
Do you? It's the bloke between them saying, "I now pronounce you man and wife." That would be good, wouldn't it? Oh, that'd be the best joke. 24 hours before the wedding, I'm legally married to Mugabe. I'm awfully sorry, Camilla.
What did Charles put down as his occupation on the wedding certificate?
Mrs. Mugabe. He's married Mugabe. It's a story that I can't be gagged. I've tried, I can't be gagged.
He wrote Prince of the United Kingdom. I want that job.
Yeah, but what did Camilla write down?
Well, we've got it here. Look.
Oh.
She made that. It's Morse code.
She could have said there's 3 of us in this marriage. Me, Robert Mugabe.
Yes, this was the controversial wedding of the 2 divorcees, Charles and Camilla, which the Pope had said would only happen over his dead body. In true wedding tradition, Wills and Harry had made some comic adjustments to the bride and groom's car. They pinned a Rover badge to the bonnet. Talking of which, Ian and Germaine.
Aww. Aww. Poor little... Oh, all those machines to be thrown out of work. It's really not fair. Are these the people who made the huge amounts of money out of crippling
No, I believe
Rover?
that's the minister.
Oh, really?
That's not the Phoenix crew. There's Carl.
Which suddenly stopped. That's what they do, I'm told. Now, the tricky thing is, if you've got a Rover, what are you going to do for spare parts now?
You f***ed.
Is that a technical term?
Yeah. Have you ever been to a garage? Because that's what they'll say.
But isn't this your fault? I haven't read a great deal about this story. No, I read a letter in the paper and it said the only reason Rover's gone bust is because Jeremy Clarkson sneers at Rover cars and has done for 10 years and has single-handedly destroyed the market for Rover.
I saw that.
And what do you feel about that?
Well, it's just
You don't like to take all the credit, do you?
No. You took the words right out of my mouth there, no. Anyone see the redesigned logo that's been doing the rounds? Who's been accused of doing too little too late?
The Pope. Nothing from him.
The government, I would think. And they're covering the wages bill for this week and next week at
Right up till May the 5th.
6 million quid a week. They're expensive votes, aren't they?
Yeah, but worth it in the West Midlands, isn't it?
Yeah, so anyone would think there were marginal seats up there, the way they're behaving, but, you know, who knows? Yeah, this is the sad demise of Rover. The closure will have a knock-on effect on industries related to Rover cars, especially manufacturers of boiled sweets, beaded seat covers and Valdoonican cassettes. One way of ripping people off in the motor industry is to weld two different cars together, resulting in so-called cut and shunts. Whereas with Rover, it's not so much cut and shunts as shut and company directors. The odd one out round is next. Ian and Germaine, your 4R. King Alexander of Greece, Nicholas Lyndhurst, Princess Michael of Kent, and Anthony Massey.
Well, oddly enough, the only thing I know is who Anthony Massey is. He's the person who the Director-General of the BBC bit. It was horseplay, according to the DG, just in case he's watching and is thinking of replacing any Friday night shows. An email turned up in the offices of various newspapers, and the story came out that the Director-General, though, you know, an esteemed broadcaster, is a werewolf. There must be a biting theme, or he wouldn't be in. Nicholas Lyndhurst, did you get bitten by a dog in one of the episodes of It's Only Fools and Dogs? No?
No. Think a little bit more simian.
Bitten by apes.
And so, the odd one out is...
It's the bloke in the corner, Massey.
Yeah. The answer is they've all been bitten by monkeys, apart from Massey, who was eaten by the Director-General of the BBC. Mark Thompson. Princess Michael of Kent. She was actually bitten by a monkey in the Transvaal.
Really?
Yeah.
That really hurts.
Yes, the Director-General, Mark Thompson, has ordered sweeping cuts of 15% right across the BBC, though he has assured viewers that the cuts will not lead to the dumbing down of programmes.
It's interesting, they've all got a separate choreographer.
OK, Paul and Danny, your 4R. Seaweed, David Letterman, a groundhog, and Jeremy Paxman.
Yes, I think this is... Jeremy Paxman's been in the news lately because of the controversy about whether Newsnight should carry a weather report, so it must be about that. He's not in favour of it, I know that. Groundhog, there's in the film Groundhog Day, if a groundhog catches its sight of its shadow...
Punxsutawney Phil, it'll be 6 weeks of darkness as opposed to
so that's meant to predict the weather. Seaweed, of course, is notoriously good for predicting weather. If it's wet, it's been raining. And Letterman...
was a weatherman when he was in Indiana. It was his first job after leaving university.
Ah, so they'll tell you about the weather's going to do, and Paxman is the only one it doesn't.
Couldn't be more concise. So I will give it to you. Letterman was actually the odd one out. They all currently forecast the weather, except for David Letterman, who started his career as a TV weatherman. He once congratulated a tropical storm on being upgraded to a hurricane as well. Seaweed has been used to forecast the weather for generations, and how does it do this?
OK, we need a proper answer here, don't we? We've done the wet joke.
We've done the wet joke.
It's very special stuff. has scientific little pods in it. Podules, they're called. Podules. And, yeah, you've heard about them, podules. And if the podules are green, then clouds will be seen. And if the podules are dry,
then sunshine is nigh.
Yes.
Is that right?
No, but it'll do.
we belong to the seaweed circle, that's how we met.
OK, Jeremy Paxman. Yes, that's the BBC flagship programme Newsnight. Now includes a brief weather report instead of financial news. We've got the first three coming up now.
And now, on the theory that while some people are interested in the markets, everyone's interested in the weather, here it is. Shorn of the usual folksy nonsense about clouds bubbling up and advice about wearing woolly socks. Eastern parts will mainly avoid the rain, except for those that don't. Western areas will be cloudy, with rain, except in those places that don't have rain. Temperature. And finally, by popular demand, the second Newsnight weather forecast. Take an umbrella with you tomorrow. Controversially to tomorrow's weather forecast. It's a veritable smorgasbord. Sun, rain, thunder, hail, snow, cold, winds. Almost worth going to work.
I think, though, he excelled himself. I think he excelled himself on Wednesday night. I think this was his finest hour.
The forecast, it's April. What do you expect?
What advice has weather presenter Sean Lloyd given to him?
Don't marry Lembit Opik.
Put passion into it. You should get into it. Feel that weather.
Oh.
Apparently. Only with a Welsh accent, which I can't do.
Go on, have a go.
You what?
Have a go with the Welsh accent.
No, really, I can't do it.
Well, let's hear you not do it.
Boyo, I can't do a Welsh accent.
Is this you doing it now?
No, I'm not. I won't. It's just that this is me. I can't do a Welsh accent. If
Well,
I
have a
try,
go
it would
and do
just...
one.
No, because you'd go, oh, well, I thought you were doing a Hungarian accent, Boyo. I said Boyo, that'll do. The answer is they're all currently
You're not going to brood
forecast...
about the Welsh thing, are you?
No, I'm not. I don't brood.
Don't you?
No, I've no brood. The answer is they all currently forecast the weather. Apart from David...
He was right, wasn't he?
He was absolutely
I can't.
right.
In Pennsylvania on Groundhog Day every year, residents of the town of Punxsutawney gather at a local hill called Gobbler's Knob, waiting for the inevitable phone call from Graham Norton. And for extra fun, here's a bonus odd one out. So fingers on your buzzers. David Blunkett, Simon Hoggett, the massed pipes and drums of the Royal Scots Guards, and Uncle what? Tom Cobley.
This is about Mrs. Kimberly Quinn.
Are these the people who might be the fathers of her baby? Is this the lineup? Is this what you're telling me?
Well, I think Blunkett's the odd one out because he's the only one who's been proved not to be the father.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Which means at the end of this round it is Paul and Danny.
What about the bloke at the back in the hat? Is it him as well?
About the horse.
Yeah, the horse. You've got to rule the horse out, haven't you?
Very funny. You're still only on 8, and Ian and Germaine, you are on 9. We finish, as always, on the missing words round. This week's guest publication is Bed and Breakfast News, which includes a handy list of questions to ask before buying a B&B. The most important question being, they suggest, is it a B&B? So here we go with Howard. I'll kill what badgers?
Kill.
Yes. It's late now. It's late. Let my people go. Yes, it's late.
This is an easier way of playing it.
It is. No, it is kill. It's another one of the Tories' pre-election promises aimed at farmers. If the Conservatives win the election, Michael Howard has promised that many badgers will be killed. You've got to celebrate somehow. Right, next. Silent monks break what?
Break wind in jam jars.
Break vows. Sound barrier, but nobody knows it.
Record.
Dance.
TV ban. No.
TV ban.
TV ban. It's the order of Cistercian monks on a remote Welsh island who relaxed their strict ban on TV in order to watch the Pope's funeral.
They are allowed to break wind, then.
Basically, nobody can complain about it because they can't say anything. Just walk around like that.
Next, Mugabe chooses what?
Charles as his husband. We've done this one.
A vowel, please, Carol. Bed and breakfast over hotel.
He's right. It's bed and breakfast. He's actually chosen. According to Bed and Breakfast News, a turn down at several hotels in Pretoria, Mr Mugabe decided to stay at a B&B, which is very commendable. Obviously a man of good taste. Politics, obviously not a B&B News strong suit. Next, I love what and what, says Prescott.
Jaguar and Jaguar.
Country and Western.
Simon and Garfunkel.
Ant and Dec.
Fish and chips.
Sweet and sour.
Dick and Dob.
No, Dick and Dob.
Bed and breakfast.
I love hitting people with a left and a right.
Just a left. No, the answer is coming to Tories' seats and roughing them up. And lastly, long-legged Dutchmen require what?
Longer beds in B&Bs. Don't say that's right.
No, I'm sorry, that is right. Now how do you feel? This is from B&B News. According to the latest issue, the Dutch are shooting up. So, the final scores are Ian and Germaine, you're on 10, and Paul and Danny, you are this week's winners on 12.
Ah, well done. Well done, my friend.
And I leave you with news that as the election gets underway, the Green Party battle bus sets off on the campaign trail. Cherie Blair admits her attempt to lighten the mood at the Vatican was a mistake. And there are encouraging signs that the three main parties are finally adopting an honest approach to electioneering. Good night.